Guys, we're going to talk about the fact that homeopathy does not allow protocols to be used in practice, or at least classical homeopathy. We're going to be discussing this based on Lecture 9 from Kent, which is based on Organon 10 and 11. So let's get into it. So Kent says, every few days I run across a homeopathic physician who asks, what remedy are you using in such and such a case? Such a thing has no place in my mind, and I look upon one who speaks in that way as a man untrained in homeopathics. What does that mean? Of course, it is referring to the principle in classical homeopathy which states that we do not prescribe using protocols for specific diagnosis, and instead we always individualize the remedy and look at the totality of the symptom pattern. Kent continues, I truly have lost my patience over such things, for the old gray heads who have practiced for years and pretended to practice homeopathy do not hesitate to say that the best remedy for epilepsy is so and so. What nonsense! That is not adjusting the remedy to the state of the patient that existed before he had these structural changes and fixed groups of symptoms. For if you adjust the remedy to the pathological condition, you are not adjusting it to the patient, to his very beginnings down to the present time. This is talking about the same principle. You shouldn't adjust the remedy to the diagnosis, but you should be adjusting the remedy to the characteristics of the patient, mental characteristics, physical, general characteristics, all the characteristics which have nothing to do with um, the diagnosis, pathology itself. What else? Cancer is a result of disorder, which disorder must be turned in order and must be healed. We dwell upon this for many paragraphs, bring up out this distinction between symptoms and results of disease. So cancer is just like any other disease. It's a disorder. It's a systemic disorder in the organism. It's not a isolated disease. So the same principle applies. You shouldn't be giving remedies based on the cancer symptoms, but instead you should be giving remedies based on what we talked about. Um, what else is there? Of course, the bystanders will say to the patient, that doctor cannot know much. He did not give you a physical examination. Study physical diagnosis to your heart's content, but weigh carefully what you discover and compare it with the symptoms in order to ascertain what the different symptoms mean. This is talking about the same thing. Don't get lost in the physical examination of the patient. Of course, sometimes it's necessary, but most of the time it's not. Of course, you can study the diagnosis as well in terms of medicine, the orthodox medical analysis is sometimes important, but the most important is to look at the totality of the symptom pattern unrelated to the diagnosis. And of course, we have so-called modern homeopathy. Many schools and camps of modern homeopathy, which disregard this rule. Things like clinical homeopathy and um, detox, all kinds of detox methods like Tinnis Smiths and all that. And The point is that those are all wrong. You cannot just disregard the basis of an existing science and just do whatever you want. There are ways to instigate a paradigm shift in a science, but what we have in so-called modern homeopathy today is complete nonsense and quackery. So if you want to experience real homeopathy, stick to classical and just read the classical literature and stick to that. So that was it for today, and thank you for listening. If you would like to do a consultation with me, then you can get in touch. Just check out the channel description, in YouTube or Odyssey, and you can find my Telegram, Signal, and email.